I'm Tyler Moore, and I'm going to be doing my code on the Wind Talkers, or more commonly known as the Code Talkers. So for a little bit of background, it was used by the USA during World War I and World War II, mostly against the Japanese at the end of the war. It was used because most of their previous codes were all getting cracked by them and they couldn't be used anymore, so they needed a more secure code. And it was also a much faster code. It was used mostly just to communicate battle plans and to talk about what the enemy's battle plans were without the Japanese knowing. So what was so special about the Navajo code was that it could be done supremely quickly, faster than any other code at the time. What would have usually taken hours could be done in mere minutes. And it was much, much faster and more efficient than any other code. So some interesting things about it was that it had over 400 unique words in their cipher, because at the time, then their language didn't account for certain military words like planes or submarines or bombs, so they had to use different words or interchange words that they already had to add to their code. Now, there were some other Native American languages that were used other than Navajo. It was just Navajo was the major language used. There were some other ones called the Kamachi, the Hapai, and the Meskwasai. And there were a couple others, but I don't remember them. Now, how you encrypt it is you needed one person on one end of a radio who both knew English and Navajo, and another who both on the other end who knew English and Navajo. They had to also know what certain extra words meant in Navajo. For example, bomb was turned into egg, submarine was turned into iron fish, and different bird names were turned into different planes. The Japanese tried to break the code, but they had absolutely no idea how to. They could identify the language, but they could never decipher it. A couple reasons for that was that just the language was just so different from any that they've ever heard before that they just had no idea how to decipher it. They had no starting point at all. They did manage to capture a Navajo soldier, but because of the different words that they used during it, he couldn't break it either. So how do you break the Navajo code? Well, it has never actually been broken yet. Both Germany and Japan tried to break it, but they had no success. The reason for that is it's just such a complicated language. It's just really hard to check. It's really hard to understand and it's just a very complicated language to figure out. And with the extra changed out words, even if you did know it, you couldn't really understand what they were saying. You'd barely even get an idea what they were saying. It would sound like just a bunch of random words just thrown together. And it also didn't help that there was very few that actually spoke it. And at that time, the language was already being suppressed by the USA, and there was only about 100,000 speakers left. And there's my works cited, and that is all.